Okay, can I get your first name and last name?
Sure.
And spell them for me, please?
Cheryl, Cheryl, Tyler, Tyler.
And can you give me just a brief background of how long you were with the agency and who you were assigned to protect?
Sure. I was a special agent with the United States Secret Service for 15 and a half years. I served in the Atlanta, New York offices and then transferred to the President's detail at the White House, where I became the first African-American female ever to be assigned to a president. And I served under President George H. Bush and William Jefferson Clinton.
How tough of a job is this?
It is tough, but it also is rewarding. It's challenging. It's a lot of dedication. And I say this not to be facetious or demeaning of any other career. It's not a job. It's not a 9 to 5. And when you're on in the detail, and specifically, it is 24/7, 365. It's a lifestyle change. It's a career. It's a dedication to your country. It's just not the definition of a job. But you do have a job to do. And part of that job is the Constitution of this country is what we took an oath to. Oh yeah, they're Spanish. And So how long have you been around?
Been in this area actually been with the station 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in Baltimore for about 5 years before this.
Big difference.
Yes
Yeah.
and no. Yeah. But as far as cities go,
Yeah.
New info today just came out on CNN saying local law enforcement was in charge of clearing that building where the shooter was on. What do you think of that?
I had my own thoughts about it when it first came out that it was a perimeter, outside the perimeter, I'm sorry. And I know how the planning goes. I know how you sit down and you have those police meetings over and over and over again. I know you go back and forth. That wasn't just a 2-day, 1-week planning. That's been planned for a long time. So it's not like they didn't have police meetings and everybody knew what their area of territory and responsibility was. There's also communication between law enforcement entities that are involved. So you have that ability to reach out to your counterpart that's with the Secret Service to be able to say, hey, something's wrong over here or whatever, or vice versa. So I'm not there to judge because I'm not at the agency. However, the work, the planning, the protocols, they don't change. I'm sure there'll be further discussion. The investigation is going to go deeper and changes will happen.
Because of what happened, we now know Monday morning quarterbacking, what happened. Should that have ever have happened? I mean, I understand that you can only do so much, you can protect somebody only so much, but is that inexcusable? Or do you think there'll be reasons found out why it happened and how they missed it? Because it looks like they missed, this lone suspect crawling up or coming out of the building and going across the roof.
I don't think it was inappropriate how the work was divvied out and shared. That is normal. That's what happens. I know the blame game is going to start, and it's going to start heavy. And I go back to saying negotiations, planning, protocols, procedures between law enforcement entities always exist, no matter if it's domestic or if it's international. Being able to communicate with your counterpart, whomever that is from the lead organization or agency, that is always given. You will be able to contact that counterpart all night, any day of the week until that event is over. So what transpired along the way, I have no idea, and I don't know if anybody else will have that idea.
Do you think agents in charge of that event will be replaced? Is that part of the protocol, or do they stay with the same people who've got the experience and learn from the mistakes?
Two parts to that. Everybody, the entire agency is going to learn from their mistakes. Will they be replaced? I'm not sure.
What does an advance team do? Because there's an advance team that came in and looked at that and spent quite a bit of time looking at that event. What is their job to do, the number one job, do you think?
As an advance team, your job is to go in and work with the protectee staff to sit down and discuss what's going to happen. You'll know that before you leave, and you'll know who the counterparts are from the staff side. You're going to know what's supposed to take place, where it's going to take place. Once you're given the basics, then as the agent side, you're going in to do the advanced work for that area. That's your responsibility, and you're going to see what's there from A to Z. You're going to meet your challenges. You're going to talk to whoever you need to talk to. If it's a building, you're going to talk to the engineers, the lighting people, the plumbers, everybody, who runs the elevator. You're going to talk to the police. You're going to talk to the local FBI. You're going to talk to everybody that is going to have a direct impact on that visit at that location. When it's outside, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to walk it. You're going to walk it day, night, evening, after hours, different weathers changes, the climate changes. You're going to know that place backwards and forwards. And you're going to always have a debrief every single day until everybody is on the same page and everybody knows what's going on.
The outdoor events are much tougher than the inside events. What do you think, looking back, could have helped? What more preventative measures? I mean, bulletproof glass. Was there anything, do you think, that could make it more secure? Maybe not prevent what happened, but make it more secure. My understanding is he did not have bulletproof glass up on the podium at all. What do you think? Well, or maybe there isn't something. There might not be anything more to add.
This is one of those Monday morning quarterback questions. And what you have is, there is the President of the United States that has an automatic list of things that are there that are accessible for them. You have former presidents that they don't get the same things as the president does. Part of it is because of monies. They may not have had the money. They may not have wanted to spend the money. You have to remember, the Secret Service doesn't dictate where they go and how it's done. They work in conjunction with that protectee staff. So if they may make a recommendation and say, hey, you might want to do blah, 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 and they say, well, we don't have the budget for it, or we don't want to do that, we want this, then they're the ones who make that final decision. However, the service is still saying, this could put you in a precarious situation. How about we do this? And you're always looking for ways to be able to work together, and not to compromise negatively, but to compromise positively, to say, let's see how we can make this a better outcome. It's a lot of factors involved. So, there are a lot of rumors saying, well, he wasn't given this and he didn't have this. Well, he's not the sitting president. Could there have been built a bigger stadium built? Could there have been bulletproof shields along the side? That was a huge open field. The answer is yes. But the question is, well, who's paying for that? So there is a cost to everything. And the Secret Service doesn't have this equipment belonging to themselves that they just pull it out of a warehouse. Those are bought, and the staff of the president, the sitting president, may do things that they need. They have to pay for that. So it is a cost, but there's no disparity in how one is secured by anybody. They will do their job to ensure that that person's life is protected the best way they possibly can.
Good. Do I need to tell those guys to kind of... do you think the agents on the podium did what they were trained to do?
Most definitely. They became the human shield. And to go back to your question about equipment, there was not the typical podium that you're used to seeing, the big brown one that's bulletproof and all of that. That was not there. So what they did, they became the human shield, and they pushed him down, because that is what they're supposed to do.
Do you think the Secret Service has enough funding, even though the funding is, they have almost more than they've ever had, and they've got recent increase, but is there enough funding and resources to protect the president and everyone else, all the former presidents, former vice presidents, and their children? I mean, do we have enough to do that, do you think, or not?
There's several issues that are, I'll say, components that are part of that question. One is, you never know how much is enough. Number two, as you pointed out, yes, the Secret Service, remember, has at least 5 farmers that they're protecting still. Then you have the president, the first lady, you have the vice president, the second gentleman, you have families, you have former presidents, their spouses with them, kids maybe. It depends. Will there ever be enough money? Who knows? There are different challenges that we have this day and age. Weapons, ways to attack. You have drones. You have, the ghost guns. You have things that were not typical back 10 years ago. So those increase your challenges. So do you have enough money? Do you have enough manpower to equate something that can stop everything? I would say no. And is it impossible? I would say it's going to be challenging, because when you try to do something right, trust me, that other person has already gone 10 steps ahead of you trying to figure out the loops around what you're planning. So it's a non-stop wheel that's going to keep going. It doesn't mean that the service isn't going to do their best and give their best to do everything possible to keep that protectee safe and secure. But the challenges have gone this way, the budget goes up, but the risk keeps going.
The most elaborate attacks get stopped, 20 people, but then is it a shock to you as a security expert that a 20-year-old gets up on a roof with his dad's gun and gets that close to assassinating a former president?
This may sound very crass, but no. I always say, and it stays in the back of my mind, if there is a will, there's a way. If someone has this just single-focused mission, they're going to do whatever it takes to try to fulfill that mission. Now, why? Don't know. But if they want to do it, they're going to try their best to figure out how to accomplish it. Fortunately, the former president was not killed. We did lose an unfortunate situation. We did lose a fireman who was protecting his family and shielding them. We had others injured, and the gunman was finished. We live in very challenging times, and there are no foolproof answers.
All right, thank you. That was terrific. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll tell him right quick.